Welcome to Rockville.
Holy flashback to 1973 Batman. This is a super rare, 1 year only combat Wombat 125, restored by the ultimate Hodaka guru, Greg Watkins himself from California Hodaka Incorporated. Him and his wife run a Hodaka specialist restoration shop. They recently moved to Arizona, but this bike was restored and brought to Mecum on the big stage and set a new higher water mark. It sold out the door. Chip Watkins paid $8,507. I'll show you the receipts for it. I have all the paperwork over there with the buyer's premium fee and tax was $8,500. But if you think of what a restoration costs today to do a frame off on a bike like this, you're looking at 100 hours of labor, plus the chroming on the tank and the parts. So most shops in Connecticut charge $150 an hour or more. So at that price, it's about, well, if you can even find a shop, I don't know what Greg charges over at California Hodaka, but Chip paid a premium for the bike and shipped it all the way back to Florida. So he had the shipping fee there. And then he shipped it all the way up to us, along with 17 other bikes that he's selling as part of his collection switch from Hodaka, Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha, CCM to just Hondas. So Chip's been buying up some classic Hondas, wanted to get a full collection. So let 17 of his premium bikes go. So this is the nicest combat Wombat we've ever had. We have 4 other Hodaka'S here at the New England Motorcycle Museum. This is definitely by far the nicest of all of them. And if you look closely, you'll see, you know, from the bottom of the tires to the top of the bars, everything's been done on it. The forks are rebuilt with new seals and new rubbers, new front tire, new front brakes. This is an original, made in Japan, Hodaka front fender, original tank. I believe the tank's rechromed. We'll go over the paperwork that came with it in a second. New number plate, new bars, new crossbar pad, new throttle, 814 duo throttle, new clutch and brake levers, new grips. I didn't restore this. This was done by Greg Watkins, so I don't know, but I'm going to assume that's a brand new saddle on there and number plates. You can see the rear wheel was redone also with a new tire, new chains and sprockets. He did leave the original Combat Wombat paint job on the air filter box. It has a little bit of patina. If you look closely, there's some original patina and scratches on here, but that's a 52-year-old original now. So the original Hodaka Chrisman exhaust is intact and in mint shape. And let me grab my notes on this. Actually, let me show you the notes. Come on over here. Here's the Mecum receipt. Built to ride or race by Greg Watkins of California Hodaka. Has a new 125cc single engine, 5-speed manual transmission. He rechromed the fuel tank. That's what I thought. New rebuilt forks, new chain, new cables, new rubber parts. OEM original air cleaner housing. New polished fenders, new hardware, new wheel bearings, new spokes, new tubes and tires. And here's the actual auction block receipt. $7,000 was a hammer price. $700 was a premium. $150 other fee, I don't know what that is, but taxes was $8,507.44, and then shipping. So over $9 grand landed. Then he shipped it to us in Connecticut, and we've got an 8-hour work order here. The bike had been sitting for a couple of years, so we went right through it. Detailed the bike, did a little bit of touch-up paint on the frame, buffed all the chrome, cleaned up the fenders, polished it, put some Shine and Go on it. Also washed the tires. They were, you know, tires look up. They've been sitting for a couple of years. So they get a little stale looking. Washed and cleaned the tires. Went to the service department. They got it fired up. It's fresh transmission fluid. Ran it off an auxiliary fuel tank. Started the bike off the auxiliary tank, and then checked the interior of the tank, and it had a little bit of light rust inside the tank. So he used a vapor rust. Took the tank off, cleaned it with a vapor rust, then sealed it with the Caswell tank liner, and set the idle, test rode it, put a gallon of VP fuel in it, non-ethanol fuel, and test rode it. So that was our part. So it's being sold on our behalf for Chip on commission. This isn't our bike. This is Chip's. It's owned by him. And ironically, Greg Watkins has the same last name as Chip. I didn't ask Greg, or I didn't ask Chip if there was any relation. I've never spoke with Greg, but I know of his reputation. It precedes him for sure. So this was, like I said, a 1 year only model, the Combat Wombat. The year after that, they called it the Super Combat. This was the year that Honda dropped the Elsinore 125 bomb on the industry. So this was probably, they had to up their game with the Super Combat the next year, but this makes it more rare because it is a 1 year old model, 52 years ago. It's a 125cc single cylinder, 2-stroke carbureted with a 5-speed manual transmission, a wet multi-plate clutch, and a new chain final drive. Steel tubular frame, telescopic front forks, twin rear shocks, typical of a 73 motocross bike with a 21-inch front and 18-inch rear. Very lightweight, 198 pounds. Short wheelbase at 53 inches, 9.5 inches of ground clearance, and it's got a 3-gallon fuel tank, good for miles of smiles. And most kids who had these would ride these until the engines blew. They'd ride the wheels right off of them. So to find one like this that was restored and rebuilt by the best in the business is few and far between. This is Hodaka'S motocross variant of the enduro bike. It was basically a stripped down enduro bike without the lights, and features the number plates for racing. Very short production life of just 1 year. And it was a great fun bike to blast around the fields on. Stable at speed, full-size motorcycle. And of course, it's got the cool name, the Combat Wombat. You'll see a lot of these out here receiving full restorations because they're now highly collectible, appearing at auctions like Mecum or eBay. This one's going up on eBay auction. Tank's been freshly chromed, so it looks like brand new. This was basically bridged the gap on the Hodaka evolution from trail enduro bikes, the Wombat, to the full-on motocross only Super Combat. Very, very raw, rare, nimble performance. It's cemented its place in vintage bike collections and vintage bike Hall of Fame. So the follow-up, the Super Combat, was definitely a more aggressive racer, but was eventually outpaced by offerings like the Honda Sierra 125 and the Yamaha YZ 125. So today, restoration parts such as replica chrome tanks, fenders, seats are commonly available. That's an original tank, and I'm 99% sure that's an original NOS front fender, but I do know the tank was original. That was a rechromed. So a little bit about Greg Watkins, often seen alongside Diane Watkins, his better half of California Hodaka, now based in Arizona, is widely regarded as the expert in Hodaka repair and full restorations. They're listed as tech specialists on the Hodaka parts site under California Hodaka, even though they're in Arizona now. And they've got a number of how-to videos they produced on swing arm bushings, brake shoes, coil repair, etc., all credited to Greg Watkins with his elf helper, which I assume was his wife, Diane. So one of the most talented and knowledgeable Hodaka engine and full restoration experts in the United States. I don't know anybody who's got a better or more known rep in his industry. So this video will probably get shared on the forums. Just comment if you know, comment if you know Greg and his wife Diane. So now in Arizona, definitely the renowned Hodaka expert. So this bike is never been ridden by Chip. We did a video at Chip's private museum maybe 3 years ago. This bike wasn't there yet. He just bought this bike a little over a year ago. But in that video, most of his bikes were hanging from the ceiling because he had a custom car collection on the ground. And this bike was never ridden by him. To my knowledge, I don't think he rode it at all. It certainly was super clean when it came here. But we gave it the full Monty, super detailed. So it looks just the way it rolled to the floor at Mecum when it sold at auction there. So if you have any questions about it, give us a call at 860-454-7024. We can finance this. We can ship it to your door. And we won't be taking trade-ins on this one because this isn't our bike. But if you got a collection of classics you want to sell, we'll offer the same service to you as we did for Chip. Just give us a call. Thanks for watching. God bless America.